What's happening, guys? We're back. Another 0 hour. Tim Lloyd, join my man, Jeff Hobbs. Today, Jeff, we've got Razor Robbie Ring with us, and we are on the way to the Aries Ampd card going down August 13th, Nashville, Tennessee. Spoke to Robbie's opponent, Jacob Kilburn. That is posted on the channel here, so make sure you check that out. It's a good one. And while you're at it, give us a subscribe. Hit the subscribe bell, and that way you get a notification every time we post new content here. Jeff, this is one we've been looking forward to, co-main event on this huge card, and certainly, on a card that's stacked with lots of good fights. This is one that is still kind of shining bright. Is one of the ones everybody's looking forward to.
Yeah, you can't just hang your hat on the main event when you've got this sitting right underneath it as the co-main event. So no sooner than people see the main event and get excited, and then they scan down to the next and they're just, oh shit, your co-main event is a main event every day of the week and twice on Sunday. So, man, just these two. This is your main event. The main event we have sets our card apart, but it's that second spot, that co-main event, that really puts value on the card. Where you go, it's not just a ho-hum card building up to this main event. When you look at the co-main event, the feature, those are the fights that really give this value.
Robbie, we appreciate you taking some time out. I know it is you're right in the thick of that hard training camp right now. Let's talk a little bit about it, my man. You're stepping up here to fight Jacob Kilburn on the 13th co-main event in Nashville, and it's a big card, and Jacob Kilburn will certainly be your stiffest test to date. We talked to him a little bit. We'll get into some of the things he had to say here in a moment, but for now, let's talk a little bit about the thought process that went into kind of jumping out there and taking on a UFC vet, a guy that has been, fighting very, very high level competition for the last probably 3 years or so. What I can tell you from a matchmaking perspective, you're not an easy guy to match. There's a lot of guys that turn you down as you've been rising through the ranks, that we've tried to make fights, with guys that are, I want to say, like other prospects, I guess, other guys that are around your record, 3-0, 4-0, and those guys don't want to fight you. Jacob Kilburn, on the other hand, he's kind of in a spot where he's trying to get back up to that top level, and so he's kind of got everything to lose here. You've got everything to gain, in a sense. What was the thought process behind jumping out from the level of guys that you had been fighting up to this?
Yeah, it's just one of those things that I know where I want to be at in martial arts. Of course, I want to be competing at the biggest show in the world. So if I want to be competing at the biggest show of the world and I'm not there yet, then the next best thing is fighting somebody that's been there. I know what I'm capable of. And like you said, Tim, I've kind of had bad luck when it comes to the fights that I've been matched up with, whether that was, backouts, people not even accepting the fight to begin with. If my fights would have went through with the original opponents that I've been matched up with, gosh, I would have fought my record would look even more impressive than it does now at 4-0. But, I can't make them show up to the event and fight them. So I just take care of what's in front of me. But, I am glad to be stepping up in competition. And for me to show what I truly am capable of, I have to have a dancing partner. And I think Jacob Kilburn will be a good dance partner for me to let loose and show everybody what I'm capable of.
Yeah, looking at this, they say styles make fights, and I can't really see a world where this fight is boring any way that it goes. Both you guys have shown pretty good chins. He has increased his grappling ability, I feel like, over the last couple of years, where in the past maybe that would be perceived as one of his weaknesses. But he's down there at American Top Team. He's training with very tough guys. I've seen you've been getting out and around and training as well with some really tough talent over in the Carolinas. Let's talk about some of the folks who've been helping you get ready for this.
Oh yeah, so it's kind of a cool situation that I'm in. I know people say that I'm not going to make it to where I want to make it without training at a big gym. But let me just assure everybody, I am definitely getting work in down here and improving every single week. Me training with Carolina Combat Sports and then Charlotte, North Carolina, Brian Battle, he's, working his way up the ranks right now in the UFC. He's being successful in the UFC. Never left his home gym. And, I find a lot of inspiration from him. He believes in his system that he's working over there. And so I said, you know what? I want to be surrounded by people like him, those loyal people. And so I've been training with them, and that gym's full of killers. It's not very big, but it's like every single guy in that gym is killers. We've got guys at Ring Combat Sports here in Virginia that's, hard nosed. They might not have professional fights, but I've been training with guys with 20 amateur fights. And I'm definitely getting in good work. I've been training with, the number one ranked bantamweight in the state of North Carolina, Keith Richardson. He's a tank. Nobody has more professional MMA fights than him. He's 40 pro MMA fights. I'm getting the work that I need for this fight, and it's by far been the hardest training camp that I've ever had, and I've learned so much. I've improved so much this fight camp.
I gotta say, getting rounds in with Richardson is actually a really good look. I would think when preparing for Jacob Kilburn. Jeff, I'll tag out to you here. What you got for Razor Robbie?
Just just piggybacking off what you said, and again, it kind of just goes to show what this card means to everybody. If you go through those top five, you do have Kilburn at ATT, yourself who is traveling around, and like you said, getting to Carolina and training with Brian Battle, guys like that, Keith Richardson. You've got Trevor Peake, who has left the confines of Alabama and pretty much, as far as from what I've heard, moved into Agogi's gym until this fight happens. Kama Worthy leaving Pittsburgh next week to finish up camp in Las Vegas. Does that tell the story to you on what this card means? I mean, as a whole, I know you're concentrating on your fight alone, but man, is this not an impressive card to look at?
Oh yeah, it's a very good card, and it seems like all of these fighters that's even fighting, down to your amateurs, are guys that definitely take MMA fighting more than just a hobby. It's a lifestyle to them, and just that's going to make for some extremely good fights because it's more than just doing something for fun out there for them.
Right. So, Tim mentioned, the elephant in the room is that Kilburn interview went out. It went up before you. Have you got a chance to watch it?
Yeah, I have. I've had the chance to watch what Gilbert has had to say about me.
Okay. Well, it's not our job. We don't necessarily set out to try to play one interview against another and things like that. But having watched it, what are some of the things, his take on this fight, his perspective? What are some things that he has right, and what are some things he has wrong
Yeah.
about you and about this fight? Tell me both
Uh,
sides.
well, it's definitely that's a great question. I'll start with the things that Kilburn has right, and the first one is I haven't faced somebody that is as good as Kilburn is. He's got experience. He's got the time put in. I've not had that in my opponents. Would I have if they would have showed up to these events and didn't back out 2 weeks before the show? Probably. I was scheduled to go against some pretty good guys. So he's got that right, and of course the whole, he's got the UFC experience and things like that. But I feel like Kilburn is underestimating me a little bit because he keeps talking about how he has 40 some fights and this and that. Well, guess what? I had my first fight at 15 years old, and it didn't even go down on paper. I was fighting full MMA with knees and elbows at 15. So I had seven amateur fights before I even turned the age of 18. And then I had 8 more amateur fights. And now I'm on my 5th fight. So, I've got the experience too. I've been involved in martial arts for a really long time. So I don't think that he's really that much more experienced than me. He got an opportunity and to fight at the big show. He didn't really do much with it. But he got there. He's good. He's a good fighter. I just think that I'm better. And there's only one way to tell, and that's going to be on August 13th in Nashville.
All right. Well, my last question is Withville, Virginia, man, small town. It's not a big, thriving metropolis. What is the buzz around town? I will tell you, I get notifications every time someone buys a ticket on Fighter Ticks. In fact, I think you had some notifications today, I think I got from you. What is the buzz around Withville, man? There's a nice little contingency. I know you got paper tickets, and I can't really vouch for that, but from online sales, man, Withville's making the trek down the interstate here to Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh yeah, yeah. The people that support me, they're different. They'll travel, and I've said it in an interview with you all before. I live in a very just blue collar working town. We're from the country. It ain't nothing but farms and creeks and a river that flows right through it. And these people are proud of me. And, it means the world to me that I have a community that supports me. They've supported me since my first amateur fight in the local high school gymnasium, and they're still supporting me to this day. And, I've had people tell me like, "Hey, you're our only hope for Withville," and things, and things like that. It does motivate me a lot to have these people that are coming, 6 hours away to come support me and watch me fight. So,
It reminds me of, small town high school basketball. Robbie's got a game and the caravan of cars behind the team, behind the team bus headed to the big game. So,
yep.
We're looking forward to Withville heading to the big game on August 13th. Are they coming in early? Or are they coming in just on fight day?
Most of them's coming in early. Most of them are they're going sightseeing and stuff because we don't get out of Withville too much.
All right, so I'll go ahead and warn all the businesses in downtown Nashville to be
tell them that there's going to be a bunch of mountain rednecks coming, and it's going to, the Country Music Hall of Fame will be popping.
Yeah.
So, getting back to this fight, man, you've had your fair share of detractors that we'll just call them, haters, whatever you want to say, that will kind of pick apart, your level of competition up to this point. We've said it as many times as we could say it. There's a lot of guys turning you down, and then of course you've had fights booked with guys with good experience, 13, 14 fight pros that are bailing out on you last minute. So it's certainly not anything where, you guys are coming to me and being like, we need to, fluff this guy's record up. We need a softie. It's been quite the opposite, honestly. Do you feel like this is going to shut some people up as far as taking this kind of step up in competition, with this next one?
To be honest, Tim, they're always going to find something to pick at on me. I ignore it. I see it. I'm not going to act like I don't see what people have to say, because I do. If I said I didn't, I would be lying or trying to act cool about it. But I see it. It doesn't really bother me. I'm going to fight whoever that you and Jeff put in front of me. And I've been pretty open in my post-fight interviews that I want the very best that you all can find, because I want to make it. I want to make this happen, and I know to do that, I have to fight some stiffer competition. Kilburn, it depends. If Kilburn goes in there and gives me a really, really tough fight, and then I think that people be like, yeah, he's fought Kilburn. Kilburn was tough. But if I go in there and take care of him just like I have the rest of my fights, they're going to be like, oh, Kilburn, he wasn't any good. It was too easy for Robbie. He needs a push. So, it could go either way. But either way that it does go, it's not going to bother me.
What kind of things have you done differently, if anything, for this? I know you've gotten out into the Carolinas, a little bit more, cross training, but is it pretty much business as usual here as far as your training camp goes? Is there anything that you've ramped up? In my opinion, I think conditioning for this one will be, no one can count on going in there and getting the other guy out of there. I'm not saying it won't happen quickly, but this is a fight that I could certainly see getting drug out a little bit. And then second part of this question, this fight also is at 145. You typically have been trying to get fights at 135. It's been a little difficult, obviously, to get guys at 35 to step up. So you have been fighting some at 45. Does that matter at all to you? Does that in the back of your mind at all, thinking that maybe he's going to be bigger?
Well, I've been eating pretty good, Tim, and I've been eating my beans and cornbread
Yeah.
down here, and putting on a little bit of size for this fight. Um, so the weight, it doesn't make a difference. Anybody that you ask, I'm a little bit happier during training camp, and I can exert a little bit more energy because I have some extra calories in my body to burn. So that's nice. I still want to keep my home at 135 pounds. But for this fight, I have put on some size, so I don't really see it being a problem against Kilburn of him being bigger than me, because I have gotten a little bit bigger. But yeah, this fight right here, with it being at 145, we've had to kind of change my style a little bit. At 135, I was just go, 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 kind of like a crazy animal in there. This one, we've had to, work a lot more of my technique, using a little bit less strength, because, Kilburn, he'll be a strong guy, and not gassing out is a big thing for this fight. So the way that we've been training is a little bit different. And the conditioning part is what's a lot different. Where I am, the only pro at our gym on the regular, we have practices where it's 7 guys, and each guy comes in on a dominant position for a minute at a time. And let me tell you, it don't matter how good you are. You get about 12 minutes in, and then that guy on the 13th minute's only went 3 minutes with you the whole time and gets a rest in between. He makes you feel like you suck. I'll tell you that. So that that training has been great for me. Getting out and about, and training with my friends in North Carolina, it's helped me a lot. It's helped me a lot with my technique. It showed me some things that I've needed to work on and improve on. So I'm just glad that I've got a good base. Even all the people around my town in these surrounding states that's fought amateur and had several pro fights, they're all coming together for this fight for me. They're all coming together to help me, and so we've been having several guys come up to the gym and train with me too throughout the week.
In the conversation with Kilburn, which is, I must, if you're watching this, you should go watch that because it's really good. Not just like trying to say that Jacob's talking all this shit. It's actually a really good interview because you get a little insight into the mindset of someone that has been to the top level and has tumbled down, and kind of he mentioned some depression and things like that, that have kind of spawned from all this. So you do kind of get to see a different side, a kind of gritty, real side to this thing. Is there anything you took from that otherwise? He did mention, I got to the UFC too young, and you're certainly very young right now. Is there any bit of that kind of does stick with you, though? You're like, man, I'm working my way up the ranks. I'm increasing my level of competition, but at the same time, if the UFC calls on a week's notice, maybe it's not the right move.
I have definitely put in a lot of thought about that. And, my management company and my parents, we've all talked about it. I'm young. I just turned 22 2 days ago. So
Then I
I
was
am
right. He
very
was
young.
asking how old you were, and I think he just turned 22. It's good.
Yeah. I just turned 22, so I am young. I feel like I am kind of ahead of my physical, like my body and stuff. I feel like I'm a little bit ahead of schedule as far as my strength goes. I've worked out hard, ever since I was a teenager, in the weight room and in the MMA gym. I've always tried to train like a man. So I do feel like I'm strong for my age. If the UFC did call on a week's notice, the answer would be freaking absolutely. Put me in there. Let's see where I'm at. Because you even said it in the interview. I can't remember if it was you, Tim, or if it was Jeff, that you might not get that second chance for them to ask you to come on and fight again. So you kind of got to take it when it comes to you. And it's a dream of mine. To be in the UFC, but when I get there, I do want to be able to make a run. I don't want to just get there and lose a few times and then get
Say you were there.
get
Yeah.
cut. Yeah.
Last question here before we let you go, Robbie. Kilburn went through the two ways that he sees this fight going. I'm not asking you to give away any game plans here, but he said there were two ways that he saw this fight going. Either A, you were going to come out, balls out, blazing, just nervous energy, going for that big kill right away, or you're going to be, tentative and not want to mess up. And either way, he said that would be fine. What are some of the ways that you see this fight going?
Well, Tim, if I can't catch him with something with my atrocious stand up, then I think that I might have to go for a takedown or something on him and get him on the ground. But I'm an MMA fighter. I'm going to go in there. I've had a lot of fights too, and I know what to do in there. Uh, have I not had much success with my stand up in my pro fights? No, because I've got it done on the ground pretty fast. But in this fight, I think that it will give me a chance if I want to go out there and strike with him. I can show people that I'm definitely capable of it. And, he's been knocked out before, kind of recently. So I might catch him with something on the chin and put him to sleep. If not, then I've got other options that I can do too.
Do you have any expectations from him? How you think he may approach this fight?
I do feel like Kilburn's going to think that he's, stronger than me. And he's just going to have to find out if he's stronger than me on fight night. I wouldn't put too much money on that he's stronger than me. But I think that he might think since I'm just a young buck. He said he didn't know how old I was, but I know that he knows how old I am. He's looked me up, and he's done a little bit more than just look me up to figure out things about me. But I think he's underestimating me, guys. I really do, and I really don't know why. He said that people he's been accused of fighting a tin can. I've never heard of somebody that's said that a guy that's never lost is a tin can. I don't know if that was just a shot at me, but that just don't make much sense to me. I think that he's underestimating me. I think that he's trying to talk himself up a little bit. But guys, I'm hungry. I'm a young lion right now. I'm working hard. I'm training hard. And on August 13th, I will come in there and I am going to fight hard. And I'm going to get this guy out of the way and shut some people up, and so they can know how good I really am.
Man, we cannot wait, Robbie. We appreciate the time, brother. It is it's only less than a month out at this point. Just over, I guess, 4 weeks, or just under. I'm sorry, just under 4 weeks. It's all going down in Nashville at Aries Ampd. You get your tickets at fightertix.com. Make sure you select Robbie from the menu so you get a little extra cheddar. And then, of course, you can watch the pay-per-view at spectationsports.com. Wagering odds will be available at Action 247. So make sure you use promo code Aries. You deposit some money on there. They will match your initial deposit bonus, your initial deposit with a bonus up to $400. You can bet on this fight. You can bet on the Peak versus Worthy fight. I'm really excited to see what the odds come out for that kind of thing. Robbie, man, we appreciate it. I'm going to let you give some shout outs where they're due before we let you go. Any sponsors, training partners, friends, family, loved ones, let them have it.
First thing, of course, as always, my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Everybody needs to look about finding the Lord. Times are getting really hard right now, so we need prayer. Our country needs prayers. Everybody needs prayer right now. I'd like to give shout out to my team, Ring Combat Sports. From the ground up, my parents have built me into who I am today. I'd like to thank everybody else that I've been cross training with around the area. Thank you all so much for helping me out and putting interest in me for this fight. And just a few of my sponsor shout outs. I'd like to give a shout out to Old North Roofing and Construction, Varney Construction, Elite Ballers Club. Thank you all so much for your sponsorship to me and supporting me through this fight camp. And that'll be it for me, Tim. Thank you all for giving me this opportunity. This is, guys, I get like a little kid in a candy store when it comes time to compete. I just went to a grappling tournament yesterday and was going to coach my kids. I just got so excited in the atmosphere, I had to go and compete myself. So I'm just really excited to go to Nashville, bring all my redneck friends, and we're going to have a good time.
There you have it, folks. Razor Robbie Ring. Catch him in the co-main event, Aries Ampd, August 13th. Right, Robbie, we appreciate the time, brother. We'll see you here on August 13th in Nash Vegas.
Awesome. Thank you all so much.
See it. Hey, tell mom we said hi.